Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 6. Tonight, taken for a ride.
Get out of the truck, you're all under arrest now.
Body cam footage shows a Mountie stopping a moving truck with an armed driver.
You can't necessarily anticipate every single risk.
Avenue eyesore. People eagerly waiting to see what happens to the old Army-Navy building on White.
We're excited to bring it on, and we're chomping at the bit just like everybody else.
And handling the heat.
I mean, you're working with lava. It's supposed to be hot.
From a glass blow to painting snow, how local artists are coping with the hot weather.
I don't necessarily love winter, but it is my favorite season to paint.
More sunshine and more heat on the way for the next couple of days, as daytime highs tomorrow and Saturday should be in the 30s again.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
A Mountie is recovering tonight from minor injuries after arresting 4 people in a stolen truck in Gibbons earlier this week. Mounties say the officer was briefly dragged by the truck during the arrest, which was all captured on his body camera. CTV's Jeremy Thompson joins us now with more details on this story. So, Jer, what led up to the officer being dragged by that truck?
Yeah, Matt, it was early Tuesday morning, just after midnight, when an officer from the Morinville detachment ran the plates of a truck at the Shell gas station in Gibbons and determined it was stolen. There were 4 people inside the truck at the time, and body cam footage shows the moment the officer told them they were under arrest.
The license plate that got stolen, the truck, out of Woodland County. Both you guys will be detained for possession of stolen property, any licenses and IDs.
Soon after, the driver put the truck in reverse, and the officer jumped inside the cab to avoid being struck by the open passenger door. He managed to take it out of gear and remove the keys as the truck coasted backwards into a tree. The driver then grabbed something from between the front seats and got out of the truck.
He has a gun!
Oh,
What was that? Show me your hands.
We take lots of steps to mitigate the risk, but ultimately you can't necessarily anticipate every single risk. So there's always still lots of times when officers are approaching unknown situations by themselves.
The officer later determined the object was a sawed-off shotgun, which was thrown into the bed of the truck. A search turned up small amounts of meth and fentanyl, as well as a fake bill of sale for the truck and ammo for the shotgun. RCMP say violence against officers happens every day in Alberta. They say incidents where an officer experienced bodily harm or an assault with a weapon, those are up 23% since 2023. Meanwhile, all 4 people involved are facing multiple charges, including possession of stolen property, drug, and weapons offenses. Matt.
All right, Jeremy Thompson live in West Edmonton tonight. Thank you. Parkland RCMP say its detachment in Spruce Grove is closed tonight while police investigate a potential explosive device. RCMP say it was surrendered at the detachment. Officers from the Alberta RCMP Explosives Disposal Unit are being deployed. Police say there is no risk to the public or police. Less than 2 weeks after being let out on bail, a man is facing numerous charges after police say he went on a crime spree in northwest Edmonton. Police say earlier this month, a white car was stolen just before noon. Later that day, it was involved in a hit and run near 123rd Avenue and 90th Street, injuring a cyclist. Police say minutes later, the driver stabbed a man near 132nd Avenue and 83rd Street, seriously injuring him. Police arrested 32-year-old Cody Slade Desjardins the next day. He faces a dozen charges, including attempted murder. Police say Desjardins did not know the victims. Officers also say he was out on bail at the time. Now, Desjardins was charged in connection with a crash back in October. 4 people were hurt, including a child and Desjardins. CTV News obtained video from that crash. Police said a black car ran a red light and smashed into another car. That crash site is just a block away from this month's stabbing. Police say Desjardins is now in custody. A motorcyclist is dead after a crash yesterday evening, marking the 21st death on Edmonton roads this year. It happened just before 6 near 82nd Street and 167th Avenue. Police say a car was stopped at a green light waiting to turn left. The motorcycle was going straight through the intersection when it struck the front passenger wheel of the car. The motorcyclist was thrown from the bike. Police say despite CPR on scene, the 25-year-old rider died. Officers believe he was speeding. A man from Edmonton is facing charges after border officers found dozens of kilograms of cocaine in a truck bound for Canada. On Monday, officers at the Coots border searched a commercial truck entering from the United States. The Canada Border Services Agency says it found a duffel bag with 67 kilograms of cocaine inside. A 49-year-old man from Edmonton is facing a number of charges, including importing a controlled substance and smuggling into Canada. It appears Edmontonians are not getting the message. You need to wear a life jacket while floating down the river. Park rangers have given out hundreds of warnings since the change came into effect this spring. CTV's Evan Kenny joins us from the Capilano boat launch this evening. Evan, the new rules apply to anyone on a vessel, so what does that cover?
Yeah, Matt, well, whether you're on a boat like one of these ones, a kayak, an inner tube, or really anything else you could think of, peace officers tell us if it floats, it's a boat, and a life jacket needs to be worn.
If it's mandatory now, it's for a reason, and it's usually around safety and wellness.
In the past, you just needed to have a life jacket with you, not on you. Now, if you're not wearing it, you could get a $250 ticket. So far this year, park rangers have given out one ticket and nearly 500 warnings. Rangers are also looking for other missing items from people floating or boating.
We do go ahead and make sure they have the rest of their safety equipment gear and they're in compliance and within the guidelines of Transport Canada. So they have to make sure they have a safety bucket, a bailer, a throw line, a whistle, as well as license numbers, and have a pleasure craft operator's card on their person as well.
Now, outside of city limits, boaters don't have to wear a life jacket, but one per person has to be available in the boat. Now, the peace officer that we spoke to earlier today says the North Saskatchewan is flowing faster than a typical year. And since the spring, Edmonton Fire Rescue has been called out 24 times to come save people. Matt?
All right, CTV's Evan Kenny live at the Capilano boat launch this evening. Thank you. The new owner of the old Army and Navy building says people are going to start noticing some changes very soon. The White Avenue landmark has sat empty for years. Edmontonians looking through the dusty windows would be forgiven for thinking there isn't much happening. As CTV's Connor Hogg found out, that won't be the case for long.
It's a busy afternoon on White Ave. Most areas are bustling with activity. Sydney Jenkins is visiting from out of town. She noticed this stretch of street is conspicuously quiet.
Kind of takes away from the rest of the vibe that White Ave tries to give, especially with the graffiti and all the sold out stuff.
The Army and Navy department store closed in 2020. Leader Investments bought the building last summer. While there have been some delays, Kevin Peterson says change is coming soon.
We're excited to bring it on, and we're chomping at the bit just like everybody else.
Peterson says another group came along wanting to buy the project outright, so interior work was halted. That buyout fell through. Now, Leader is planning on moving ahead itself. Units are up for sale, and permits are pending. Leader's wish list includes retail, restaurants, and a rooftop patio.
We have to get a building permit, obviously, so that permit's already in. We're ordering materials. We're getting everything ready so that we can launch it as quickly as possible. The intention is that as part of our first phase one, is we're redoing the whole front facade.
The city has approved a storefront improvement grant for the project, so more money can be spent on that front facade.
We want to continue to invest in the storefronts, including the heritage storefronts that give this neighborhood such character. For a number of years, it's been a missing tooth in our smile.
Area Councillor Michael Jans says White Ave has been slow to rebound from the pandemic. Jans says with new apartments going up nearby, revitalizing buildings like this is something everyone wants to see.
It's something that I think is an ongoing consideration. We have a Heritage Places strategy coming forward, whether it's directly funds or support in some other way.
Peterson says he speculates Edmontonians will see work start in the next 3 to 4 months.
Do you think it's safe to say that this is going to be the last summer where we see it looking quite like this?
Yes.
A sight many say is long overdue. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Former Oilers captain Jason Smith is the new head coach of the Edmonton Oil Kings. Smith was the captain of the Oilers for 5 seasons and helped lead them to the 2006 Stanley Cup final. He previously coached in the WHL with the Kelowna Rockets and Prince George Cougars. He was also an assistant coach for the Philadelphia Flyers farm team in the American Hockey League. Smith says he's looking forward to coaching once again.
I got a feel that coming back to the Western League would be a lot of fun. I think I've had experience in coaching in a lot of different levels and in different situations where I've worked with really good people, and I just thought it was a great time to get back as a head coach in the Western League. What better place than here in Edmonton, where I spent a huge part of my hockey life.
The Edmonton Oil Kings finished 7th in the WHL's Eastern Conference last year. Local Olympian Michelle Plouffe is preparing to move from the basketball court to the bench starting this weekend. Plouffe led Team Canada to a silver medal at the 2022 FIBA 3x3 World Cup and a 4th place finish at the Paris Olympics. This weekend, she'll be honored during the FIBA 3x3 Women's Series on Saturday at West Edmonton Mall. Following her retirement announcement earlier this week, she'll also be making her debut as Canada Basketball's 3x3 performance manager.
It's just kind of the closing of a chapter, opening of the next one, which I'm excited about. So working with the national teams in a different capacity from a staff role.
Hoop City 3x3 Festival says this weekend will showcase the world's top players. Team Canada hopes to take its 4th consecutive win in the women's series. The festival runs until Sunday. Admission is free. The hot weather we're experiencing has a pair of local artists handling the heat in different ways. One is focusing on winter weather. The other needs heat to do her job, although even she admits the current temps are a little much. CTV's Nair Manisa has more.
It's 40 degrees.
At this glass-blowing studio, getting a reprieve from the heat is tough. The temperature is even hotter in front of the oven. It's 1,100 degrees Celsius inside.
But I mean, you're working with lava. It's supposed to be hot.
Trying to keep cool is key when working with intense heat.
We take breaks. We take cool off. You almost temporize to the heat. You know, it's kind of, you just pretend you're like living in a hotter country. Like your body gets used to doing it a little bit more.
Leah Cudell spends hours working in the heat. When temperatures soar outside, keeping cool and hydrated is important.
Fans, obviously, lots of water, lots of bubbly. We drink fizzy water like it's going out of style. We also just douse our head in cold water.
From the heat to the snow, this artist's inspiration comes from the cold.
I don't necessarily love winter. I'm not a snow bunny. I'm not out there snowshoeing, but it is my favorite season to paint.
A scenic, snowy street, real-life inspiration from her Otwell neighborhood.
Snow is blue and violets in its shadows. It just gives you different depths and different tones of blues.
Even though it's the summer, Ashley Timo started painting this in June.
I think just how cool it is and its color scheme really helps to convey that feeling of being cold.
Back at the studio, there is no escaping the heat.
Just because it's hot doesn't mean we can just take vacation all summer, sadly.
The return to cold will be a reality in a few months. For now, these artists are channeling winter to get through the next few days. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Josh, I don't even turn my oven on when it's this warm. I can't imagine standing next to one that's hot enough to form glass in. I'm not complaining, though. I'm loving the heat, to be honest. It's a nice change.
Yeah, it's a 50-50, right? Yeah. I've already had a few people complaining. It's only been 2 days. A few people, it's too hot. You have 2 more days with daytime highs near 30 tomorrow and Saturday, and then temperatures are going to start to drop back into the low to mid-20s for Sunday and Monday. Today, 29 degrees right now after hitting 30 earlier this afternoon. So officially our 6th 30-degree day of the year. Yesterday, we got to 29.8. We rounded that up. Today, 30.1. So a degree shy of the record, 31.3, but 6 degrees warmer than average. Here are those 6 30-degree days so far. We had 3 in May, none in June, and now 3 in the month of July. Hottest day this year, still May 29th. Averages for 4 30-degree days in the entire year. So we're above the long-term average. Although the last 5 years, we've averaged 12 30-degree days per year. Heat warning still in effect for the vast majority of the province, including most central and northern Alberta. We do once again have some thunderstorms in through the foothills, but those will, just like yesterday, die in the foothills. Might see a little bit of cloud cover here in the Edmonton area, but for the most part overnight tonight and again tomorrow, skies should be fairly clear. A degree hotter tomorrow as we get to 31 in the afternoon. Closer look at your long weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, buzzing by.
So we can see if they're coming across the highway, going to the highway, or traveling along the highway.
A local student exploring how busy roads affect Alberta's bee population.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A university student in Edmonton is busy spending her summer buzzing with the bees. She's trying to get a better understanding of how highway corridors next to cropland affect their population. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, her goal is to see what, if anything, should be done to better manage these roadside areas to help bees.
Throughout the summer, you'll find Shay Giesbrecht trekking along roadside ditches. The University of Alberta master's student has 22 traps set up along highways near Edmonton.
They had to be highways that were single lane, ranging between 4,000 and 7,000 vehicles per day, as well as next to cropland, both across the highway as well as adjacent to the highway.
She's trying to find out the ecological role environments like these have on Alberta bees.
How flowers and shelter belts, which are strips of trees next to cropland, possibly impact either negatively or positively native bees.
Each site has 2 tent-like traps to capture insects from all directions.
So we can see if they're coming across the highway, going to the highway, or traveling along the highway. They'll fly in this way, get caught in here, and for a lot of insects, their instinct is to fly up when they're trapped. So because this leads all the way up here, they get caught into this top bottle, they get exhausted, and then they fall into this propylene glycol.
These other traps will also help measure bee numbers and species. She also keeps a close eye on what's growing along these ditches.
We will do a floral survey, so we count how many flowers and see what species are here. And then within those flowers, we'll actually use nets to catch insects that we see landing on them.
Giesbrecht says her work will not hurt the bee population. Instead, her findings could provide vital information to help benefit them.
For growers or landowners, we can either tell them to continue supporting or plant shelter belts, or maybe discourage them from planting further shelter belts if they end up being negative. Native bees are incredibly important for growers. They actually contribute $2.8 billion to Canadian farmers annually. So we need to find ways to better support them.
Her research may also give roadside management better insight into when is the best time for mowing. Giesbrecht will continue to collect data until the end of August. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, near Pigeon Lake.
Canmore is growing its fruit tree removal program. The town will now cover the cost of replacement trees in addition to the removal cost. The new incentive is thanks to money from the G7 for legacy projects. The town says the #1 reason bears in the Bow Valley have to be relocated or killed is because of fruit trees. Canmore has been encouraging homeowners and businesses to get rid of the fruit trees since 2019. A dedicated team of gardeners is helping to keep history alive at an Alberta landmark. The gardens at Lockheed House have a variety of plants and flowers laid out similarly to what the gardens would have looked like in the late 1800s. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, more than a dozen volunteers work in the space. Head gardener Jane Rexon says the gardens wouldn't look as good as they do if it wasn't for the work of the volunteers. She says the space in Calgary's downtown provides the perfect growing conditions.
When the Lockheeds were here, they would have been battling against like harsh prairie winds. There would have been no buildings around them, like really out on the prairie. And so they had created a very dense shelter belt to protect them from that. The shelter belt that we have now is much more open. We want to invite people in, not keep them out.
Rexon says she designs the gardens every year to include native plants that the Lockheeds would have had access to more than a century ago. When we return, Rockin' August.
It's like a block party. People are out on their driveways or in their garages.
Where and when you can check out hundreds of classic cars in the Edmonton area.
Hot tomorrow. You may want to take the top down on some of those classic cars. Hot again Saturday, but then some scattered showers in the forecast for Sunday, Monday. We'll get into that in a little more detail right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
St. Albert's Classic Car Show is revving up for its 29th year. Rockin' August is a summertime tradition featuring more than 900 classic cars. It begins Tuesday and runs until Saturday on Belrose Drive. Organizers say the 5-day show is the largest festival of cars and music across the country.
It's like a block party. People are out on their driveways or in their garages and they're barbecuing and having some wine, and it's a good time. It really brings the community together.
Money raised during the event will go towards diabetes research at the University of Alberta. In the last 29 years, the car show has raised more than $1.6 million. Josh, I don't know how many of those classic cars have air conditioning in them, but boy, you'd probably want them if you're out for a ride this week. Yeah.
And manual when you crank windows, too.
I can't get them down fast enough.
It was a hot one today, 30 degrees for your daytime high. We do have a little bit of cloud cover, though, that you could see starting to filter its way in out ahead of those storms that are way off to the west of us. The Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right over its free. We're 29 degrees after hitting that high of 30.1 earlier today. Look at the north, 33 in Fort McMurray, 34 in Peace River. High level hit 35 degrees this afternoon. We're trying to track down whether or not these were records today. Come back tomorrow. We'll have a handle on that. 27 in Red Deer. So still warm across the south, but not as hot as northern Alberta, where you have, at least for another day, heat warning in effect. Edmonton, Red Deer, all included in that, as well as east central Alberta. We had for a while some severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see all those warnings now on the BC side. The storms have gone non-severe, but there are still lots of lightning strikes coming off of those thunderstorms. And if you're underneath one of these, you're getting poured on. Maybe even a few pockets of some small hail. So some of this is starting to encroach on the Grand Prairie area. You'll see a bit of that slide through. All this stuff further south, though, is just going to die out in through the foothills. You can see it's not moving east. It's just kind of tracking to the south and kind of pushing back up against the Rockies. So there's that thin cloud cover sliding towards the Edmonton region. We'll see a bit of that through the evening hours and then clearing overnight tonight. Sunshine in the forecast all day tomorrow here in the city and really across most of the province. Could start the day with a few scattered thunderstorms up around high level. Some of that moves into parts of northeastern Alberta later in the day. And again, through the foothills, you have some showers and thunderstorms that will bubble up. Now, the last couple of days, those have all fizzled out in the foothills. These tomorrow night may be able to track off into the Whitecourt, Swan Hills region. So tomorrow evening, you might see some storms a little closer to the Edmonton area. But again, it looks like they all stay west of the city. It's kind of this region here. And then watch Saturday. Looks like Saturday is going to be really spotty, hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. Best bet, again, through the foothills up in northwestern Alberta. You may see some hit and miss showers and thunderstorms as well in east central Alberta. And so at this point, I know that on a Thursday before the long weekend, you'd love to know exactly when the rain's going to come, how much rain is coming, how likely it is. Stop looking at your weather apps that are telling you how much rain is coming, because at this point with this setup, none of them have a clue. The models have been all over the place with timing and amounts. It's going to be scattered precipitation. Doesn't look like a real rain out for any of the 3 days. 31 in Fort McMurray, 34 is Peace River high level, 29 right now in Edmonton. Temperatures overnight tonight slide down to about 17, but look at your evening. 26 degrees at 9 p.m. up to about 31 for a high tomorrow with wind at about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. 30 on Saturday, partly cloudy skies, chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm in the evening. And then Sunday, Monday, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures low to mid 20s for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And both Sunday, Monday do have a chance of some showers, but neither, at least for the Edmonton area, neither looks like really heavy, steady rain. Come back tomorrow. Should have a little better handle on that situation for Sunday, Monday.
All right, Josh, thank you. Still to come tonight, pressure over a Palestinian state.
The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable.
How Canada's decision to eventually recognize Palestine as a state could affect trade talks with the United States.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
We're just hours away from the deadline for Canada and the United States to reach a trade deal. The President of the United States spent the day signing new executive orders, including for Canada to face a 35% tariff increase. That's unless the two countries agree to a deal. Canada could also land an extension like Mexico did today. CTV's Jeremy Chiron reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announced today a 90-day extension to negotiate a new deal on tariffs. Canada doesn't have a deal yet, and there is no indication so far we'll get the same extension.
We haven't spoken to Canada today. He's called, and we'll see. But we have made a few deals today that are excellent deals for the country.
A similar agreement would, of course, help Canada, though. Experts have said the Carney government shouldn't be rushing to get a deal done, as the CUSMA deal already in place gives Canada a better starting point than most. And today, a sign of encouragement for Canada's aluminum sector. In the wake of Ford Motor Company reporting a substantial hit from tariffs, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CNBC today that Ford relies heavily on aluminum, and Washington will take that into account at the negotiating table.
I believe that the Ford, F-150, 250, their big truck series is made out of aluminum instead of steel, which is different than other cars. So I think maybe the aluminum tariffs have hit them harder. We will be negotiating with Canada on those.
As it stands, Canada faces an increased tariff of 35% on goods not covered under CUSMA as of tomorrow. Now, most countries that have so far landed a tariff deal with Trump have faced a baseline lower tariff of 15% across the board. Some experts have suggested if Canada can get the same, but only on non-CUSMA products, it would be seen as a win. Jeremy Chiron, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. President Donald Trump says Canada's decision to recognize a Palestinian state will hurt the urgent trade talks underway. Beyond Trump's negative response, Canada's announcement has received a range of reactions. CTV's Abigail Binman has more on the timing of the diplomatic move.
News Canada intends to recognize Palestinian statehood lands with hope on the streets of Gaza. This teacher thanks Canada and feels the world is beginning to wake up.
The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable, and it's rapidly deteriorating.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister posted this photo saying Canadian aid is beginning to enter Gaza and thanking Jordan for facilitating an airdrop. Fighting over what falls, Gazans say airdropped food is like a dog chasing a bone. The U.S.'s special envoy landed in Jerusalem, while the president mixed foreign policy and trade, posting in the middle of the night, Canada's decision will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, apostrophe, Canada.
This is just Trump trying to use yet another tactic to put pressure on Canada. And I'm frankly very proud that the Prime Minister and his government made that decision, even though no doubt somebody was telling them that this could impact the trade negotiations.
I think the government is putting the cart before the horse here.
The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs is concerned the government didn't tie its conditions to the release of hostages or the immediate removal of Hamas, worried it will embolden the terrorist group.
Conceivably, we're going to have Canada recognize a Palestinian state where Gaza is still under the control of Hamas, and innocent Israelis are still being held hostages in the terror dungeons of Gaza.
CJA says there is increased fear and concern in the Canadian Jewish community in the wake of the government's decision, fear of even more anti-Jewish hate and attacks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada, the U.S., and several European allies are calling out Iran, alleging a surge in threats posed by that country's intelligence services. A group statement says the countries are united in their opposition to Iranian operatives' efforts to kill, kidnap, and harass people in Europe and North America. It says Tehran is increasingly collaborating with criminal organizations to target journalists, dissidents, and Jewish citizens, as well as current and former officials. Iranian officials haven't immediately commented. The city of Thompson, Manitoba will extend a state of local emergency for another 30 days as a trio of wildfires threatens the community.
It's really been unsettling that this is really actually happening to us.
The closest fires are burning about 14 kilometers northeast of the city. Crews are setting up fire breaks and sprinklers in some areas. Firefighters from Quebec have been helping put out hotspots.
The police came and said, "You've got 5 minutes." So I was already ready to go.
A wildfire in Peachland, British Columbia has quickly grown to 27 hectares. It's believed to have been caused by a truck fire. The Central Okanagan Regional District issued evacuation orders for about 400 properties. Another 225 properties have been placed on evacuation alert. Serious turbulence on a Delta flight heading to Europe sent 25 people to hospital after an emergency landing. The flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam was forced to make an emergency landing at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. It was quickly met by emergency responders. One passenger says anyone on board who was not wearing a seatbelt was tossed around the cabin when the plane hit the turbulence. The airline says 7 crew members were treated at hospitals and released. It also says some passengers had been released, but did not provide an exact number. A flight attendant who was on board the Delta Airlines flight that crashed at Toronto's Pearson Airport last winter is suing the airline. The plane with 80 people on board crashed and flipped while landing in February. The flight attendant was not working but was a passenger on board. She's suing the airline for $75 million over injuries she suffered. She alleges Delta assigned an inexperienced pilot to the flight. The National Transportation Safety Board says issues with staffing, communication, and equipment all contributed to one of the deadliest plane crashes in American history. It's revealing new details about the January crash between a military helicopter and passenger plane. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio reports from Washington.
Flight 5342 is visible in the upper left corner as it approaches runway 33.
This morning, new video from the end of the runway at Reagan National Airport shows the moment before an American Airlines flight collided with an Army helicopter, killing all 67 people on board. The head of the NTSB now slamming the FAA and the Army for not taking ownership of the incident, saying it never should have happened.
Are you kidding me? 67 people are dead. How do you explain that?
During a hearing on Capitol Hill Wednesday, federal investigators revealed the Black Hawk helicopter likely didn't know how high they were flying or how close they were to the airliner before the deadly collision. The instrument in the helicopter that helps pilots gauge their height was found to be inaccurate by up to 130 feet. Investigators also found the helicopter route at the time of the collision allowed the Black Hawk to fly as close as 75 feet below planes. According to FAA surveillance data, there have been over 15,000 close proximity events between helicopters and commercial aircraft at DCA between October 2021 and December 2024. Some of the reports warn that the flight space was an accident waiting to happen. That route has since been closed.
At no point should there ever be helicopters flying underneath civilian aircraft.
And now the agency revealing the final conversations of the American Airlines pilots. The pilots tried to pull up in the final seconds before the crash, shouting an expletive just before impact. Family members of the 67 people who lost their lives filled the hearing room, including Doug Lane, who lost his wife and son in the crash.
When you see just how avoidable this whole tragedy was, but I know for many of us, filling in the blanks is helpful.
Staffing was also cited as a concern. Investigators say at the time of the crash, the controller was handling both planes and helicopter traffic. A full report on the crash is expected early next year. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Justin Timberlake says he's been diagnosed with Lyme disease. The 44-year-old singer says recent health issues led him to consider quitting his recent world tour. He says he has been dealing with nerve pain, fatigue, and sickness while on stage. Timberlake revealed the diagnosis on social media after wrapping up his Forget Tomorrow tour. He had been facing criticism for lackluster performances and postponements during the tour. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau attended a Katy Perry concert in Montreal days after the pair were spotted having dinner together. Trudeau was in the crowd at the Bell Centre Wednesday night for the pop star's Lifetimes tour. Earlier this week, the two were seen having dinner at a posh Montreal restaurant, sparking dating rumors. TMZ posted a video of Trudeau and Perry, who recently split from her husband, Orlando Bloom. Coming up next on CTV News, they're loving it.
I'm very happy because I did not expect this one.
How a man in Alberta landed his artwork at McDonald's locations across the country. Plus,
My whole mission in this is just to let people know.
Why a Canadian couple is warning drivers to know the car rental rules before traveling. Stay with us. Here's a look at the markets for this Thursday evening. The Canadian dollar is down, sitting around 72 cents U.S. Oil is down as well, around $69 U.S. a barrel. Gold dropped as well by $24. On the stock market, the TSX lost 110 points, while the Dow Jones lost 330 points. A new generative artificial intelligence tool is aiming to provide some much-needed support for Alberta farmers and food producers. The online tool, called Root, is built by Farm Credit Canada and available for free on its website. The tool translates decades of research, field experiences, and proven practices into timely advice that producers can use immediately. The company says it's designed to give producers fast, reliable support when making decisions on farms.
It's a real variety of everything. So we've got producers who are taking pictures of crops and asking Root to help diagnose with the disease that they might be faced with and how they could treat it. Taking pictures of farm equipment to try to understand what the part is and how they could fix it, where they could even find that part nearest them. And then also just some of the basic information around grants that might be out there that they're eligible to apply for.
Root is available in English and French and includes voice-to-text and image recognition. Summer vacations can often mean renting a car in another province or country. Different companies and jurisdictions can have all their own rules about who they'll rent to, including age limits. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
My whole mission in this is just to let people know.
Carol Ann and John Jenisak of Oakville recently visited with family in British Columbia. Before they left, they made sure to book a rental car. But when they got to the rental counter in Victoria, they got a surprise.
When John handed her his driver's license, she said, "Oh dear, I'm sorry, but we can't rent to you because you're over 79. Which we had never heard of before.
Carol Ann was still 79 for another 3 months, so luckily she was able to rent the car as long as she did the driving, and John, who was 85, didn't get behind the wheel. The couple says the situation could have been worse.
If you had a trip arranged and you put deposits on hotels, that could be quite costly.
The Jenisaks rented a car with National Car Rental, whose parent company is Enterprise Mobility. A spokesperson told CTV News the National Car Rental branch in Victoria, BC, sets its own policies and procedures. Their age requirements for rental are outlined on their website under key facts and policies when you begin a reservation. Every rental company is different, and some don't have age restrictions, but some do. You could be denied a rental car if you're over 79 years of age, over 70 outside of Canada, if you're younger than 21 or 25 years old, if you have limited driving experience, have a bad credit rating, if you don't present a valid driver's license, or you don't have the proper form of payment. Most rental companies won't accept cash without a credit card on file. Last year, CTV News did a story with Brian Barnard of Etobicoke, who was denied a car rental because he wanted to pay with a prepaid credit card.
It was frustrating to go all the way there and then to be told that, you won't take my form of payment.
If you're planning to rent a car, you'll want to check the fine print to make sure your trip goes as planned.
Artwork created by a man in red deer will be featured at McDonald's locations across the country. Richard C. is one of 17 McDonald's employees chosen as part of the Made at McDonald's campaign. It highlights artistic talent from McDonald's workers nationwide. His painting, entitled Quality, will be featured on tray maps and billboards. The piece represents his commitment to customer service. C. has worked at McDonald's for more than 3 decades. He worked in the Fine Arts Department in the Philippines before moving to Canada in 2023. He says he feels lucky to be selected.
I'm very happy because I did not expect this one. When I was in high school, I joined different competition when it comes to art, but I never won any single competition.
C has been an artist for nearly 40 years and says it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. When we return, going for gold.
Happy with the gold, happy with the win, and just gonna keep pushing forward.
A Canadian swimmer is one step closer to reaching a record set by a legendary athlete.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
A Canadian swimmer is one step closer to matching a record set by legendary swimmer Michael Phelps. Summer McIntosh took home a 3rd gold medal at the World Aquatics Championship in Singapore. Here's CTV's John Venevalley Rao with more on the other record she was a fraction of a second away from beating.
Summer McIntosh looking for gold medal number 3.
As the swimming sensation made her way to the pool, half a world away in her hometown, these young swimmers gathered to watch.
She's in there. She's ready to race, so hoping for the best. I think she'll do well.
And sure enough, McIntosh didn't disappoint.
Look at McIntosh go.
Winning the 200-meter butterfly and missing the world record by just 0.2 of a second. Visibly frustrated by that.
I didn't reach my goal tonight, but happy with the gold, happy with the win, and just gonna keep pushing forward.
McIntosh is looking strong.
Already, she's won 3 golds in individual events and has her sights on scooping up 5 at a single World Swimming Championship, a feat that's only ever been pulled off by megastar Michael Phelps.
Crazy. She's like a literal machine. Pretty cool.
Here she comes.
Just last month at the Canadian Swimming Trials in BC, McIntosh set 3 world records. And she's also a 3-time Olympic champion and inspiring the next generation of swimmers.
Her accomplishments are Canadian accomplishments. Like, it means everything to her and everything to us. She's truly one of a kind, just to see how she just seems to glide on top of the water.
Isn't she amazing? If all goes well, she'll try for that next gold on Saturday, competing in the 800-meter freestyle, a highly anticipated event because she'll go up against Katie Ledecky, the current world record holder.
This is going to be like the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup of swimming this summer. This event is going to be epic. It's the one that a lot of people are really looking forward to watching.
And if she wins on Saturday, she'll go for that 5th goal on Sunday, competing in the 400-meter individual medley. John Venevalley Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Matt,
Josh,
you going to be in the pool doing the individual medley this weekend?
I was just about to say, I won't be beating any records, but a dip in the pool might be just what I need to beat this heat we're experiencing.
Summer McIntosh could probably do an 800 freestyle faster than you could do a 100.
Yeah, I'd be at the end of the pool just exhausted.
It was 30 today, 31 tomorrow, 30 on Saturday, sunny tomorrow. There's a chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm in the area Saturday evening, and then a few scattered showers as well possible Sunday and Monday, and temperatures back into I've got 26 to 25 for Saturday, Sunday, or for Sunday, Monday rather. There's a chance if those showers are a little more organized that we're maybe a bit cooler. Certainly a lot cooler than tomorrow and Saturday though.
I'll be the only competitor with water wings on. He'll just be cruising right by me.
You use those, just, show off a little bit.
Yeah, just out there.
That's how fast I am. I can even
out there splashing around. For news anytime, go to our website.